Hey folks, welcome to another day, another unboxing. This is the OnePlus Nord N10 5G. This is it. This is the first Snapdragon 690 phone that I've come across, so interesting and exciting. This is a European model. This is not the US version, but nonetheless, I thought I'd unbox it for you because I think it's a very interesting phone. All right, so as you can see, this is the box. It says OnePlus Nord N10 5G here, OnePlus logo here, OnePlus on this side, and there's some iMacs in the back. So let's open this up, shall we? Dun 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 dun. Boom. Ta-da, nothing in here. Got a divider to start, and then we got the phone, and then we've got another divider. And then we've got, as you see, a European version of the Warp 30T charger. So this is a 30-watt charger, which is exciting because this phone supports 30-watt wired charging. Type A to Type C, obviously, just like every OnePlus before the 8T. You've got a A to C cable here. To plug into this, you need this cable and this adapter to get the 30-watt. As you know. So that's it for the box. There's really nothing else in here. Let's take a look at this divider. And it says OnePlus. Okay, we've got a SIM removal tool here. We've got a couple of pieces of paper, so let's have a look at that. Quick start guide, safety information, highest SAR value. Now notice a couple of things are missing here. The welcome letter from Pete Lau, that used to be in pretty much every OnePlus unboxing, and the OnePlus sticker. So I guess they're saving some money. We don't care about this, but we do care about that. So let's take a look. So here's a little introduction to your OnePlus Nord N10 5G. As you know, I did review and unbox the OnePlus Nord regular, so take a look at that. I'll put it here. And yeah, that's it. Let's get to the phone, shall we? So let's see, here's a tab. And we've got an iMac in the back. So let me remove that real quick. There we go. And ta-da! Ooh, look at that. OnePlus down here. And OnePlus with the fingerprint sensors in the back. And there's a reason for that. This is because this is not an AMOLED screen. This is an IPS panel. Quad camera system with flash. It does look nice. I have no idea if this is glass or plastic. I'll put it here if I find out. Same for the frame. So let's turn it on. And let's go through the specs real quick. So this is a 6.5 inch, roughly 6.49 inch, 1080p IPS panel, right? So that's a big change for OnePlus because the last few devices they've made have been OLED screens. It seems a little dim, but that could just be the brightness, the way it's set. I'm not sure. Yeah, there we go. The brightness is cranking up. So honestly, so far, it's hard to tell on camera, but this looks really nice. This is a nice IPS panel, but the immediate thing you notice is there's a pretty massive chin down here, which you don't even have on the regular Nord. And they've kind of like made it a little harder to see by really tapering the edge. I don't know if you can see that. The glass doesn't actually start for a few millimeters, and then you've got the black glass and then the display. So yeah, that's quite the chin. There's a camera here. It's a 16 megapixel, f/2.0, 1 micron sensor, right? It does 1080p at 60 frames per second, so not quite as good as the Nord, which, as you remember, had 2 front cameras. And yeah, so no in-display fingerprint sensor because it's in the back of the phone. So anyway, let's take a look at this back. So you get the fingerprint sensor and this camera pod. So let's talk about those cameras. We've got a main sensor, which is a 64 megapixel. There's no OIS. It is f/1.79, so f/1.8. 0.7 micron pixel. So I have no idea what sensor this is. I don't know of a 64 megapixel sensor with 0.7 micron. It does quad pixel binning for 16 megapixel output, combining those 0.7 microns into 1.4, but who knows? So normally OnePlus goes with Sony sensors, which I think is the better way to go, given the choice between that, Samsung and OmniVision usually. So I'm not sure what they're doing here. I'll let you know if I find out. The other four are in ultra wide, 8 megapixel, f/2.25, 119 degrees. Then we have a 2 megapixel macro camera, f/2.4, 1.75 micron pixels, and a monochrome lens, 2 megapixels as well, f/2.4 as well, and 1.75 micron as well. So honestly, I'm not sure what the monochrome lens does, but we'll have to find out in the review, right? Anyway, so that's the camera system. Those two 2 megapixel sensors seem to be pretty much lifted straight off of the Nord and the regular OnePlus 8. So that's it in terms of the camera. Now you're wondering what's inside this phone. Well, we got a 4,300 milliamp hour battery that can be charged with 30 watt fast charging, which is great news. But this is running a Snapdragon 690. This chip is really interesting because it's the first chip from Qualcomm in the 600 series with 5G. So this supports low band 5G in whatever markets it's going to be sold in, eventually in the US. So looking forward to that. 6 gigs of RAM is what you get. It's LPDDR4X. You get 128 gigs of storage. It's UFS 2.1, but you get micro SD, which we haven't seen on a OnePlus phone in quite a while. So that's actually pretty exciting. Let me walk you through the edges. So on the left side, you have the power lock key. And the first thing you really notice right away is there's no notification slider like there is the alert slider on other OnePlus phones where you can go between, vibrate, silent, and sound on. So on the bottom, though, is a headphone jack. As you can see here, there's a speaker and a USB Type-C port and a primary mic and a headphone jack. Again, we haven't seen a OnePlus phone with headphone jack in a while, so this is good. Also, this has stereo speakers. This is one of two. I believe the earpiece up here plays the role of the second speaker. On the left-hand side, you have the SIM micro SD card slot. This is a dual SIM phone in the rest of the world, but not in the US. And then it's got a volume rocker here. It's a pretty small volume rocker. And then on top, you have a secondary mic, and that's it. One of the things about this display is that it's a 90 hertz display. So that's actually a really big deal. 90 hertz is going to make it so that it goes well with Oxygen, their software, which makes it super nice and smooth. So I'll be interesting to see if they can reach the level of performance we get from a regular Snapdragon 700 or 800 series phones with a 90 hertz display on this using a Snapdragon 690. All right, that's basically it. This is the OnePlus Nord N10 5G European version, and I'm looking forward to reviewing it. Stay tuned for my review. It'll be coming up on various sites, and I'll link in the video description once the review is live. I'll let you know. This is the OnePlus's attempt at being mid-range-ish because the Nord was kind of incredible for its price, frankly, and this is more what you expect from a mid-range phone. And as I've discussed on the podcast, it's an interesting strategy. I'm not quite sure I'm on board yet because obviously I want to make sure that the same incredible experience happens with this phone as with the other phones, because that's one of the things about OnePlus phones. They're nice and fast and wonderful. So that's it, folks. Please stay tuned for more videos. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, click on the notification bell. Comment below, would you buy this over the regular OnePlus Nord if you're in Europe? Would you even consider this if you're based in the US? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Remember, this is a supplement to the podcast at mobiletechpodcast.com. So please subscribe to the podcast, tell your friends. We're on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Spotify, pretty much everywhere. So listen to me there for my thoughts and stay tuned. I'll have more videos soon. Cheers, everybody.